Hi there, and welcome to our gorgeous interview here with Hayley Wiese. Hayley Wiese is an amazing diamond leader with dōTERRA, and she got to the rank of diamond in just only 11 months, which is an incredible feat. And Hayley lives in Singleton in New South Wales and has created her business from that base. And she has got a background in business and marketing and PR, and particularly in events. So she's got an incredible wealth, solid background to be able to bring to developing her dōTERRA business and supporting all of her teams. And she's going to bring some amazing techniques to us today, of ones that have come from her background, but she's going to bring them to us today to be able to help us in building our own dōTERRA businesses. Thank you so much, Hayley, for joining me.
Thanks for having me, Chantel.
Thank you. So, Hayley, what would you like to talk with everybody about today?
Just a simple little technique that I used to do in my professional career, which is something called a SWOT analysis, SWOT, which stands for Strengths, Weaknesses, Opportunities and Threats. And basically, it's a very simple tool that you can use in any part of your life if you have a goal and something that you're working towards. It's good to know that this isn't a standalone thing normally. This is normally part of a bigger picture, like a business plan, for instance. The good thing, I guess, where we're coming from our perspective, is we don't have to worry about a full business plan because, you know, dōTERRA is the business. They're looking after all that nitty-gritty stuff that we just don't have to worry about. Like, even just like from the logistics of warehousing and consumer relations and customer service and all of those crazy things that you have to worry about when you're running a business. We don't have to worry about them. So yeah, we're just going to focus on the SWOT, but the few things we are going to plug into the SWOT analysis is your mission. So, you know, missions, beliefs, values, your why. A lot of that is the starting point of this, and that filters down through into the what we talk about with the SWOT analysis. And what comes out the other end are activities and I guess goals, but also measurable outcomes. So you want to be able to measure them at the end of the day, because then you know if you've achieved them or not.
Yeah, great. Awesome, Hayley. Awesome.
So I guess to start with, I'll just explain a little bit about the boxes. So hopefully you can see this. So your strengths and your weaknesses are all internal. So they're things that we look deep into ourselves for. We really have to be quite frank and precise and just get real with yourself. So you really have to go into a lot of detail with these. The more detail you go into, the more real you are, the better results you'll have out the other end. Because if you're saying, oh, well, look, I don't really like public speaking or things, but it's not really a weakness of mine, but it's not a strength, but I won't put it on there. Like, if you don't feel like it's a strength, put it as a weakness, and it gives you something to work towards.
Yeah, great. Yeah, I love that.
Opportunities and threats are all external. So these are things we don't actually have control over a lot of the time. We can, however, manage them. You know, or we can influence them to a certain extent through capitalizing our strengths to overcome some of the external influences that we have that might be a threat or a weakness that we have. And then we also have up here, we have obviously the strengths and the opportunities are areas for growth. So we want to grow these as much as possible. We want to enhance these. We want to promote these. We want to invest in these. And our weaknesses, our threats, are things we want to minimize. We want to reduce and we want to overcome them as much as possible and work on them. There are areas for improvement.
Yeah, great.
So just to ask, say, I guess, a few questions. When you're thinking about filling out your SWOT analysis, when you're looking at your strengths, for instances, ask yourself, like, you know, what advantages do you have over someone else? You know, what things are you good at? Or what's your genius zone? You might hear that term a little bit. Like, what makes your heart sing? What do you do better than anyone else? The other thing, I guess, is what's the strength within the business, within dōTERRA? I mean, look at dōTERRA as a company and what we have to work with. The product itself is a strength. It's a huge, huge strength. Our retention rate is our strength. The fact that we have over 100 warehouses all over the world is a huge strength. It means that you can access anyone. You don't have to be in their living room. What else? I think even the startup cost is a real strength. It's a very low entry level. I mean, our cheapest oil is what, $12.50?
Yes. Yeah. Oh, I've just frozen you, Hayley. Oh, come back. Hopefully it's going to come back. Hayley, are you there? Are you coming back? Oh,
hello.
There you are. You're back. Yeah. Great. Yes, you're back.
Sorry.
I'm so sorry. I think it's our internet's playing up a little bit too. If I don't know if yours is, but ours is definitely playing up.
It's Mercury.
Yes.
Mercury retrograde. It's over in a couple of days. You'll be fine then.
Yay.
Some other strengths that you can remember also with the product and the business is like the certified pure therapeutic grade that we have. The co-impact sourcing, the healing hands, the way that it is an ethical and sustainable source business. This is a huge strength that we can enhance and promote. When you're looking at weaknesses, you want to delve into yourself on areas that you want to improve. Things you want to maybe even avoid. That said, I think it's good to be real. I think in business, yes, you would normally go, I need to avoid this because that's not favorable. I think if we have something in ourselves, it's good to expose those weaknesses because other people have them as well. So a weakness that you expose may actually become an opportunity.
Yes, yes.
Think of that too.
Yes. Do you have any advice when you identify a weakness? Is there some things that you go, well, it's actually a weakness of mine and I'll actually forget about it and maybe outsource it one day, or is a weakness that I really have to work on and develop myself in this area? Do you have any advice on how to make that kind of decision?
I think once you've done a full picture and then you start to prioritize things and you want to look at two things, like return on investment. So where do you invest your time and your money and your effort for the outcome? So maybe one of your weaknesses isn't actually affecting your return on investment. It's not really affecting something. So it's an easy thing to kind of drop away. If it's something, this is where you look into this, where you look at, your importance level. So you look at high, medium, and low. So when you're talking about a weakness, if it is of like a high performance area and a high risk area, you want to work on that. If it's a low importance area, it's not so important. So what I'll explain is once you write down these strengths and these weaknesses that you have, then apply an importance level to it. So is this high, medium, or low importance in this time frame that I'm working on? So then you can kind of assess whether that's something you want to work on.
Yeah. I get it. Yep.
Yeah. And the other thing that you might want to look at with weaknesses, which could also be a threat, is like your outsider influences. So your competitors, what are they doing? The other good thing though for weaknesses and strengths is to ask other people, because quite often you might not know what your strengths and weaknesses are, or you might think it's strength but it's actually a weakness, or vice versa. Yeah. Or I'm not very good at this, and they go, no, you really are. So it's always good to ask feedback from people who are really close to you and people's opinions you value. So I would definitely seek outsider influence and even like your team's feedback or your family's feedback in those areas. This is more data. This is more Googling, whatever you want to find. If you might want to look at your LRP numbers, you might want to look at your retention rate, you might want to look at your enrollment numbers, your engagement numbers, people that are coming on your mentoring calls, all that kind of thing. That's data that you can look at to assess your opportunities and your threats. Yeah,
fantastic.
Some questions that you can ask for yourself in opportunities is, where do my opportunities, where do they lie? Where are they in the world? Are they local to me? Are they somewhere else? What are the trends going on at the moment? What areas can I kind of tap into? And a lot of these opportunities will always tap up into your why, because if you've got a really strong mission or something, a goal that you want to achieve, you start to filter down into your opportunities and where your areas of growth are. The other thing that you want to look into your opportunities is if you really know, have you heard of the term avatar?
Yes, I have, yes.
Yeah. So your target market, who's your avatar? Even to the details, write them out. What are they male, are they female? What's their age? What do they get joy out of? Where do they shop? You know, how do they like to spend their time? How do they like to spend their money? What don't they like? You know, all these kind of things. If you know that, you'll be able to access them better through your opportunities. It also could be a threat of yours too, because if you if your avatar isn't reflecting an area that you can access via location or money or something, it could be a threat for growth for you.
Yes. Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yes. Yeah. It absolutely does. Yes. That's great. So seeing all of that, Hayley, I'm just wondering, when people, do they put like this quadrant together? Is that how they fill this out? Or do you have like just titles in a Word document or something that you can just keep on writing and writing without a space?
I think it's like a mind map to a certain extent. Your SWOT is like a dumping zone. Once you do your dumping zone, we can work out into your activities and key performance areas. So again, you might just use keywords for these. It's really just brainstorming. So again, the threats you want to identify are obstacles that you might face, competition that you have to worry about.
Sorry, I just got Amelia's filling up her little oils. So
my help is in the pool, so.
Oh, nice. That's
yeah, so they're out of my head while I did.
A little tight space here for. Okay, I think we're nearly done. Okay, there we go. It's done. Oh, it's beautiful, darling. Gorgeous.
I want to make another oil.
Oh, yeah, later. We'll do it a little bit later, okay, honey? Sorry, I'm back.
Okay. No, it's fine. I mean, this is what this is about too, because we have to realise that even in life, we have these. So I think for us, for instance, for me as a mother, one of my biggest strengths.
Oh, so sorry. We've got a gap, and she needs to fill it right now. Can we just wait till after I've finished, please? Just wait. I have to go off and get one from over there. Okay. Oh. Okay. So sorry. I'll get you talking about something. I can duck off for 5 seconds because I don't want to leave everyone just hanging.
I'll continue to talk while you go. I'll entertain the crowd.
I just need to
go do
stuff. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. All right. I'll be back in a second.
That's fine. You can watch it on replay. So my Chantel's gone. This is a perfect example, right? So I think for myself, say, being a mother, and a lot of you out there are mothers or have families with young children, it's a strength because it taps you into a whole new area of people that you can help. And it's an area of interest of yours, and you have like actual experience in that. So it's a real key strength. But at the same time, it's probably a bit of a threat. Your children or things can be a threat because you're not in control of them, but they greatly influence your ability to do this work. So it could be even illnesses that enable you to, that stop you from being able to get to a workshop, or there's the time in that you want to put in. So that's a perfect example of how something in your everyday life can be not only a strength but also a threat. So there you go, Chantel. You can watch that back with you.
I'll go back and watch that bit. Thank you, Hayley.
So I've kind of gone through this, and then I guess what do we do with this, which is what your question was. We go down and we write down all those dot points. We prioritize them, so your high, medium, and low importance, and then we start to write key, actual functional things that are around that. So you might want to put like an objective, a goal towards that heading. Then you put an activity. So how am I going to achieve that? What does that look like? So say, for instance, one of your strengths might be leadership. Okay, so you might like you are really good at engaging people, but you have a huge opportunity there for further growth, because obviously you want to rank, so you want to engage more people into your business. And this is a big opportunity, and you know your avatar, so you know who you're approaching, you know who you're wanting to manifest in and attract. So that is like an objective. Maybe you want to attract and engage more leaders in your business. Now, what are the activities you're going to do for that? So maybe that might be some personal development. Maybe you want to read more personal leadership books. I highly recommend Tribes. I think that's an amazing book. Yes. So then a performance measure for that is I've read the book. Okay, so tick. There might be something like I want to engage with my leaders to attend more company events, so like convention or leadership retreat or incentive retreat or diamond club. So you can write these down, and then maybe you put a number on them. So how many people do you want to bring with you to convention? And then that is your performance measure. Or maybe you want to engage more mentoring with these people to engage a bit better. So again, put a number around it. It's a measuring outcome. So that's something how you would start to work through it.
Yeah, sounds really good. Sounds really good and very practical, Hayley. Yeah.
It takes a little bit of time, but I think with anything with planning, if you set aside a day and just get in the zone, get your oils on, focus, them in tune, and get it done, you're done. You don't have to revisit it, and you're coming from that same mindset each time when you're going and producing marketing material or content for people. It's always with this mindset, and you can revisit it and reassess it. But the main thing is, just with your goals.
Yeah, sorry, Hayley. What were you saying?
Just with your goals, when you do write your goals, make sure they're really specific, measurable, they're attainable. Speak with your upline about the goals and the time frame and how much time and effort you have to put into them, and make sure that you can achieve them, and dream big. Don't make them too easy. Make sure they're out there a little bit. Make sure that they're realistic, and then also make sure that they're time bound. So put that measurability on there.
Yes, I think that's fantastic. In terms of doing this activity, you've mentioned take a day and do it and plan it out. Do you see, is there any benefit to doing this as a group exercise, like as a team? If like a team comes together, I can see a little bit of input into each other's SWOT analysis, or even as a team together.
Yeah, absolutely, because a lot of this can be just whiteboard stuff. So just mind mapping and our ideas, and I think because we're one with like-minded people, a lot of this is very similar. Or maybe you can start to bounce off other people's experiences, or maybe what a weakness is yours is a strength for someone else. So all of a sudden you can tap into resources around you to be able to, reduce this weakness and capitalize on your strengths for someone else. And, ensure that you're able to invest in the opportunities that are around you, and identifying the threats, because you're all going to have the same threats pretty much. So the more minds you have going at this stuff, it would be a great team activity. Good idea.
Yeah. Great.
Yeah.
Excellent. All right,
Awesome.
Team, in January, guess what we're doing?
Love it. Great. Awesome. Thank you so much for your time. I don't know, did you have any more questions?
No. So how often would you review this? Like if we plan this out in January, is it a dynamic document that you just keep on refining all the time, or is it something that you revisit quarterly, half yearly? What do you think?
I think it's really nice to have goals for the year. Mm-hmm. But it also depends on your goals. If your goal is to rank blah by June, make it up until June.
Yes.
It just depends on what suits for you. This is more longer term because it's in your activities that you can make your short-term stuff. Mm. When you start to break it down, you can actually start to break it down to smaller activities and make those shorter time constraints, where the big picture is big picture. I mean, this can be 10, 15 years. It doesn't matter because your strengths are your strengths. I mean, if you're 30, 40, 50 years old, they're your strengths.
Yes, true.
Yeah, just a chance to identify them and capitalize on them.
Yeah. And in terms of when you've got it together, is there a benefit for like an external eye to review it? Because, if you've got your strengths, but then another perspective is like, hang on, you're forgetting this about yourself. Or, oh my gosh, you're doing this well. You haven't even said that. Yeah. What do you think?
Yeah, absolutely. And that's why I say here is customer feedback or external feedback.
Yeah.
So especially with your areas of strengths and weaknesses, it's good to have feedback from people that observe you on a day-to-day basis. So people that you work with, your family, loved ones, absolutely. It's perfect because, like you said, you might not realize that you do something amazing and you just think, oh, well, doesn't everyone do that? Like, no.
Yeah, absolutely. Because we've got such a cloudy lens sometimes. We need that extra perspective to bring clarity to what's really going on.
And also I think we're our worst critic too. So we might think that we're really bad at something or we can't do something when in probably true sense we're just being a bit tough on ourselves, and it's actually an area that we're pretty good at, and with the small changes and a bit of personal development we probably can make it into a huge opportunity or strength.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, I don't know. Like it's just an idea, and I think it just brings that level of awareness to areas that might be a bit cloudy, that we're not focusing on, that keep popping up roadblocks in our journey. So if you're aware of them, I think it's that, you know, where your intention goes, you know, that's where things kind of start to either appear, but we've already thought about it, so it's easier to kind of get around them.
Yes. Yes, yeah. Absolutely. Yes. Yeah, that intention and where we've set our focus is so important, because that's where energy flows and results happen. So whether you're thinking of negative things or positive things, it's going to come true.
Absolutely. No. So, I mean, obviously we are identifying negative traits. But we have to then, when we're analysing them, because it's make sure you write them down, but you want to actually action them as well, is how can we turn this negative into a positive? How can we minimise this so that it's not affecting me as greatly anymore?
Yes. Yeah. Really good point. Yeah. Awesome.
It's been a pleasure. It's been lovely. I love that you're doing these. I think they're a great idea, and I'm learning from them too. So thank you for having me on here.
Oh, thank you so much, Hayley. Thanks for your time and giving us your expertise. You've explained this so well. Like you've just really explained this incredibly well, and so it's so approachable now, and it feels like it would be a very useful, simple thing to do, but very, very effective, and something that can help so many people in their businesses to just nut this out in a really simple framework like this and bring actions out from that analysis is a great idea.
Yeah, and I think it's lovely for us to actually write down our strengths too, because I think for us it's good for us to be positive about ourselves and our skills sometimes, where we don't do that. We write about positive things about everyone else and the oils and all this kind of stuff. We have to remember that there's some good stuff in us too.
Yeah.
You know, remember that and to write it down. And then I think, like you said, if you're writing it down and you're positive about yourself, then you're going to attract more of that again.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely true. Well, thank you so much, Hayley. I just love the way that you lead. You're such an incredible guiding light for so many of us. So I really appreciate your giving us your expertise and time. And thank you so much. I can't wait to see you again soon.
Hi, Fiji. Yay.
Yay. Can't wait. Thanks, Hayley.
Inspiration. Thanks, sweetheart.
Have a wonderful day. See you. Bye.
Bye.